With the hurricane season upon us, SPCA Florida wants to remind you a hurricane preparation list includes making preparation plans for your pets. All the details are coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Morady, and with me today to kind of kick off hurricane season and being prepared, we've got Adam Stanfield with SPCA Florida.
Hello.
And Belinda Reynolds, who's also with SPCA Florida.
Hello.
And guys, we're here to kind of go over what folks need to talk about, and we also have a special guest with us.
This is Alvin.
All right.
And he is special. He's a special needs adopter. He's got some conditions. He has like heart disease. He's got a heart murmur. He's 6 years old, long-haired Chihuahua mix. And we know that there's a family out there that would love to have this guy. He rode with me over here, and he's just
he's a lot of fun.
He does well
We
in
were
the car.
playing with
he
him.
listens, doesn't he?
He has a great personality.
Yeah,
Listens very well.
He was ruling the studio on the way back here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Spunky.
He's a
Good
boy.
smile.
Alvin.
Yeah. Well, we want to talk a little bit about the start of hurricane season and how we can kind of prepare for, guys like Alvin to, weather the storm. Some, dogs and animals that folks have can be susceptible to loud noises, things like that you need to make sure they're going to be able to weather things well. But kind of take us through a little bit on, how you guys prepare in letting folks know about what they need to get ready for.
Yeah. You want to start?
So the most important thing is to have a plan in place. Make sure that you've communicated with your family. Have a disaster kit prepared with emergency supplies, medical papers on your pet. Make sure that your pet has up-to-date identification. We highly, highly recommend that all your pets have microchips. And if you do have a microchip, make sure that microchip has up-to-date information. That is one of the biggest things is people don't update once they move. Cats and dogs should have their microchip. All dogs should have a collar with up-to-date tags on it. Make sure that you have an ample supply of your pet's medications, a leash prepared, cat carrier prepared, food prepared for at least 3 days. Know where your local emergency shelters are. And if for some reason you're not able to get home to get your pet out and evacuate with your pet, make sure that there's a plan with a neighbor or a family friend that can make sure that happens as well.
Okay.
Supply of water also is very important. Much like what you would do for us as a family, same thing applies to these guys, because they work the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing too is to know that the shelter network, many of our shelters are connected between each other. Like, for instance, we have a partnership with Humane Society of Tampa Bay in case, like, for instance, last year, I think it was Matthew that came up the Gulf shoreline. And, not that Humane Society of Tampa Bay got hammered, but, some of them are more in the path of, the storm's wake. And, if they get overrun, then we transfer animals and things like that. So the likelihood that if you lose your pet, just be aware of where your local shelter is and what relationships that they might have with others. So, us being kind of central to the state works out well because, we're inland and we're, a little bit higher from a elevation perspective. So.
Well, a lot of the times we're the ones that are actually serving other counties as opposed to the folks here.
Right, definitely. And with the services that SPCA Florida has, not only from a capacity ability to handle dogs, with the amount of kennel space that we have, but we do have a full service medical facility to which we're working on mechanisms to remain operational even when power for the rest of the community goes down.
Now, what is your capacity, when a storm arises? How do you guys prepare for that?
Again, much like what Belinda's mentioned, I mean, we have all the necessary precautions in place, you know, the emergency lighting, right now we have some generator power through our wellness wagon that will help support some of the operation. We have emergency lighting and, you know, just equipment. Staff, of course, will be able to, you know, come and go as they can. If somebody gets stuck there, then we have the means to accommodate them for, you know, a day or two or however long that may be. But yeah, again, much of the same thing.
Okay. Now, I know on top of the services y'all offer, there are pet-friendly shelters that open up in times that the county, you know, has, and I think you guys have a copy of our shelter map there. And the folks, you know, running those in conjunction with the school board, you know, we open those up, and pretty nice facilities there to help. Any tips that you would give somebody in going to one of those shelters versus bringing them to yours? Is there a huge difference?
I don't know that there's a huge difference. I think with coming to our shelter, we really can only shelter the animals. These shelters can shelter the people with their animals.
Yes.
So that'd be a big difference. Again, you know, just making sure that they know where they're going, what shelters are pet friendly, because not all of them are pet friendly. And just communicating with your family members where they've gone. So, you know, make sure that everyone knows where we're going, which shelter we're going to. You know, I think really that's the big difference.
Communication's key, you know, and just having a plan, as Belinda said, about, you know, if something were to happen, then this will be our first place that we may intend going. But if that, you know, is overwhelmed, then, you know, have a second or third, you know, option available as well. Okay. So, and again, this is a great tool that you guys put out there. We have it on our campus, but you'll see it throughout, you know, various other, you know, locations as well throughout the county here.
Definitely. All right.
So our just to add to what I had said a little bit ago, our sheltering would be more for other organizations to help them shelter their pets, you know, like Tampa Bay, whereas the other shelters, the schools, the fire departments, if that's one of the shelters, they would shelter the pets as well with the people, and they have cots and things that they provide.
And the thing going back to the microchipping, very, very important. I mean, we've had a couple issues with pets on campus that have not had, one, that were microchipped, but then also two, had an inaccurate address. And it's easy to forget. It's like, yeah, I got Alvin microchipped, but, you know, I forgot that I've moved and I haven't changed that address. And then when you get an animal from a shelter, whether it's us or Polk County Animal Control or, you know, Humane Society, make sure that the organization has recorded your proper address, you know, once the animal leaves, because you don't want to, you know, get this guy home and he's in an unfamiliar environment and he takes off, and then you have a difficult time getting him back because we just didn't close that loop in terms of changing the address. So.
Okay. All good tips to remember.
Absolutely.
Especially coming up at such a vital time of year for us from here until, you know, November when things close out.
And it's supposed to be very active, from what I understand.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
so fingers crossed it won't be, but
yeah, something like 11 named storms and like
hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah, like three to five major stores, three and above.
Come
so
on, Alvin.
Anyway, you know, I've been here for 3 years, and last year was the worst year in terms of that with respect to my family, but Belinda's brand spanking new.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like I'm bringing it with me.
No. Yeah, we'll make sure that it's all good.
Yes. SPCA Florida wants you to be prepared for a storm within the emergencies that come in many forms: hurricanes, flash floods, wildfires, and they may require anything from a brief absence from your home to permanent evacuation. Each type of disaster requires different measures to keep your dog or cat safe. The best thing you can do is be prepared. Be aware of local kennels that board animals during evacuations, make temporary pet care arrangements with family or friends out of the area, and be familiar with pet-friendly hurricane shelters and motels throughout your region. For more information about hurricane season animal preparation, you can check out the SPCA Florida website at spcaflorida.org.